Natalie Wood's story is one that weaves through the golden age of Hollywood, involving fame, fortune, love, and, ultimately, tragedy. To understand the mystery surrounding her untimely death, it is essential to delve deep into her entire life, from her childhood shaped by a domineering mother to her incredible success as an actress, and the complex relationships that defined her personal life. Natalie's life was far from ordinary, marked by the pressures of being a child star, turbulent romances, and an industry that often placed her in a position of vulnerability. As we look closely at her life, each detail becomes crucial to understanding the complicated woman behind the glamorous facade and why her death remains one of Hollywood's most puzzling mysteries. Born as Natalia Nikolaevna Zakharenko on July 20, 1938, in San Francisco, her parents were Russian immigrants who fled their homeland during the Bolshevik Revolution. Her father, Nikolai Zakharenko, was a carpenter, while her mother, Maria Stepanovna Zudilova, harbored dreams of fame and fortune for her children. Maria's belief in Natalie's star potential was unshakable. This belief was not simply born out of maternal pride, but was deeply rooted in superstition. Maria was a believer in omens and fate, convinced by a fortune teller in her youth that one of her children would become famous. However, the fortune teller had also delivered a dark prophecy that her famous child would meet a tragic end in water. This ominous prediction haunted Maria, who passed on this anxiety to her daughter, contributing to Natalie's lifelong fear of drowning. Maria's obsession with Natalie's success led to her daughter's entrance into the entertainment industry at an incredibly young age. Natalie's first acting role came at the tender age of 4 when she appeared in a small scene in the film Happy Land, 1943. Though her role was minor, it was enough to spark Maria's relentless pursuit of stardom for her daughter. By the time Natalie was 7, she had already landed a substantial part in the iconic holiday film Miracle on 34th Street, 1947, where she played Susan Walker, the skeptical young girl who comes to believe in Santa Claus. The movie was a hit, and Natalie became a household name. The film established Natalie as one of the most prominent child actors of her time, but this early success also came at a cost. Behind the scenes, Natalie's life was far from the picture-perfect image portrayed in her films. Her mother's unwavering drive for Natalie to succeed in Hollywood meant that Natalie had little time for a normal childhood. Maria controlled every aspect of her daughter's life, from her career decisions to her friendships. If Maria felt that a certain connection would harm Natalie's reputation or distract her from her career, she swiftly severed it. The constant pressure to perform, coupled with the looming fear of water that Maria had instilled in her, caused Natalie significant stress and anxiety throughout her life. As Natalie transitioned from child star to teenage sensation, she continued to grapple with the expectations placed on her by both her mother and Hollywood. The 1950s were a time of significant change in America, and the film industry was no exception. The roles available to women were often limited, and the expectations for young actresses were stringent. Natalie, however, was determined to break free from the mold of the sweet, innocent characters she had played as a child. Her desire to take on more complex, adult roles led her to Rebel Without a Cause, 1955, a film that would change her career forever. In Rebel Without a Cause, Natalie played Judy, a troubled teenager trying to navigate the difficulties of adolescence while dealing with a dysfunctional family. The film, which also starred James Dean and Sal Mineo, became a defining piece of American cinema, capturing the disillusionment and rebellion of the post-war generation. Natalie's performance was lauded, and she earned her first Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. This role marked a significant turning point in her career, proving that she could take on more challenging, emotionally nuanced characters. James Dean's influence on Natalie during the filming of Rebel Without a Cause was profound. Dean, known for his method acting and intense persona, shared a close bond with Natalie during production. He became a mentor of sorts, offering her advice on how to tap into her emotions for her role. Their relationship, though never romantic, was deeply meaningful for Natalie. Dean's untimely death in a car accident just a few months after the film's release devastated her. His death served as a reminder of the fragility of life in Hollywood, where fame and fortune could be taken away in an instant. Throughout the late 1950s and early 1960s, Natalie's career continued to flourish. She starred in several notable films, including West Side Story, 1961, and Splendor in the Grass, 1961. In West Side Story, Natalie played Maria, a young Puerto Rican woman caught in a forbidden love affair in the midst of gang warfare. Although her singing voice was dubbed, Natalie's performance as Maria was widely praised, and the film became one of the most successful musicals in cinematic history. West Side Story cemented Natalie's status as a leading lady capable of carrying a major motion picture. Her role in Splendor in the Grass, however, showcased Natalie's ability to delve into darker, more emotionally complex territory. In the film, she portrayed Deanie Loomis, a young woman struggling with sexual repression and mental illness in 1920s Kansas. The film's themes of desire, societal pressure, and mental breakdown were bold for the time, and Natalie's raw, vulnerable performance earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. Splendor in the Grass not only solidified her status as a serious actress, but also demonstrated her willingness to take risks in her career. While Natalie's professional life was thriving, her personal life was far more turbulent. In 1957, at the age of 19, she married actor Robert Wagner. The two had met years earlier when Natalie was still a teenager, and their romance quickly became one of Hollywood's most talked-about relationships. Their marriage seemed like a fairy tale, with the couple often photographed attending glamorous events and enjoying their life together. However, beneath the surface, there were cracks in their relationship. Both Natalie and Wagner were ambitious actors with demanding careers, and the pressures of fame took a toll on their marriage. Rumors of infidelity and jealousy began to surface, and by 1962, just 5 years after they wed, Natalie and Wagner announced their separation. Their divorce was a difficult and painful experience for Natalie, who had always longed for a stable, loving home life, something that had eluded her throughout her childhood. Despite their separation, Natalie and Wagner remained close, often seen together at social events. In the years following their divorce, Natalie's romantic life was the subject of intense media scrutiny. She had high-profile relationships with several famous men, including Warren Beatty, but none seemed to fill the void left by her marriage to Wagner. In 1972, a decade after their divorce, Natalie and Wagner surprised the world by rekindling their romance. They remarried in a private ceremony, and by all accounts, their second marriage was stronger than the first. The couple appeared to have found a sense of peace and stability, and they welcomed a daughter, Courtney Wagner, in 1974. Natalie also became a stepmother to Wagner's daughter, Katie, from a previous relationship, and she was devoted to her family. In the late 1970s, Natalie's acting career had taken a back seat to her role as a mother. She appeared in fewer films, focusing instead on raising her daughters and maintaining her home life. However, by 1981, she was eager to return to the big screen. She signed on to star in Brainstorm, a science fiction film co-starring Christopher Walken. Natalie saw the film as an opportunity to revive her career and once again prove herself as a leading actress. Unfortunately, Brainstorm would be her final project. In November 1981, Natalie, Wagner, and Walken decided to take a weekend trip to Catalina Island aboard the couple's yacht, Splendor. What was meant to be a relaxing getaway quickly turned into a nightmare. On the night of November 28, 1981, Natalie went missing from the yacht. Her body was found floating in the water the next morning, about a mile away from the boat. The official cause of death was determined to be accidental drowning, but questions surrounding the events of that night lingered for decades. There were conflicting accounts of what had happened on the yacht that night. Wagner and Walken both claimed that Natalie had gone to bed after an argument, but she was later discovered missing. The yacht's captain, Dennis Davern, later stated that there had been a heated argument between Wagner and Walken, and that Wagner had delayed calling for help once Natalie was discovered missing. Additionally, witnesses on nearby boats reported hearing screams coming from the Splendor in the early hours of the morning. Adding to the mystery was Natalie's well-documented fear of water. Friends and family were adamant that she would never have willingly gone near the edge of the yacht, especially in the middle of the night. The coroner's report noted that Natalie had several bruises on her arms and legs, which led some to speculate that she had been involved in a struggle before falling into the water. However, no concrete evidence of foul play was ever uncovered, and the case was closed as an accidental drowning. In 2011, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened the investigation into Natalie's death after new information came to light. Davern changed his story, claiming that Wagner had been responsible for Natalie's death and had instructed him to lie to authorities. Despite these allegations, no charges were ever filed, and the case remains officially unsolved. The mystery of Natalie Wood's death continues to captivate the public. Was it truly an accident, or was there something more sinister at play? While we may never know the full truth of what happened on that fateful night, one thing is certain: Natalie Wood's life was as complex and fascinating as her tragic death. A beloved actress, wife, and mother, her legacy endures in the hearts of her fans and the annals of Hollywood history. As we reflect on the life of Natalie Wood, it's clear that her story is one of immense talent, beauty, and mystery. While her contributions to Hollywood will never be forgotten, the circumstances surrounding her tragic death remain an unsolved puzzle. Was it simply an accident, or is there more to the story than we may ever know? One thing is certain: Natalie Wood's legacy lives on through her films and the countless lives she touched both on and off the screen. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the life and untimely death of Natalie Wood. If you found this story engaging and would like to explore more mysteries like this one, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another episode. Feel free to share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think really happened that night on the Splendor. Until next time, stay curious and stay tuned for more stories from Hollywood's darker side. This is Peaceful Stories, signing off.